because if that define highly romanticization as using lust, affections, and other stuff like lovey-dovey, there are also a mouthful of artworks like paintings, sculptures, movies, and musics that portrays that highly mentally ill people are somehow can live happy with their mental ill condition. So regardless with the definitions of highly romanticizations, I'm going to prove to you that it is the highly romanticization of mental illness that can bring betterment for these mental ill people, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, let's begin with my first issue about the impacts to general public. Because the main assertions and assumptions come from such government is that these mentally ill people with this highly romanticization will give false expectation and false ideas to society. We acknowledge, but even if that these movies or the stuff they're talking is too lovey-dovey and this false expectation, ladies and gentlemen, from the first side, it is much more better, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because at least it attracts people, attracts society to their interest, to the mentally ill issues, ladies and gentlemen. In comparison, without the highly romanticizations, then if you regret it also, people would not have any hopes and attention given to the mental issue, ladies and gentlemen. There would not be any thoughts and any imaginations about what exactly is schizophrenia is, what exactly Asperger's syndrome is, ladies and gentlemen. Why this is good? This is freaking good because for a long time, since the era of where you cannot imagine, until some era where this highly romanticization exists, mentally ill people and mental issues have been left untouched, untalked, and taboo, ladies and gentlemen. How people see they're locking up their kids because they're autistic, ladies and gentlemen, because people are ashamed of it. Because they do not think that the issue of autism should not be left untouched, ladies and gentlemen. Also issue when the idea is schizophrenic, ladies and gentlemen, where people are ashamed that we should not talk about it in public. But this highly romanticization uses the something that people can absorb, which is love, attention, that makes it issue appears to the wide public and wide society, that makes it gravity and attractive to a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly the amount of attention in what this mentally ill deserve, ladies and gentlemen. Even if in a very worst scenario that they're really forced to get in touch with the people, we say it is fine because there is a counterbalance that is given by the government, by the health institution. Because when this movie exists, it does not erase any effort from government to socialize the people. That look, you should not give too much drugs to your kids. That maybe because he is autistic, for example. At least this mentally ill, highly romanticizations attracts people and make government socializations, campaigns, and other educations worse, even better. It makes people more imagine that these mental ill people deserve some love and attention. But let's imagine, without this highly romanticization of this gentleman, what type of arts that would exist in this world? The arts that would exist without this highly romanticization would only an art that persists and portrays mental illness as a burden, as someone who are always angry at your mother, as a humor, as a livestock, that totally stamping on the dignity of this mental illness as a person. We do not want that only that type of art that exists in this art where there are no highly romanticization. So their proposal, even if it's only a false expectation, a false idea, is better because it creates the attention to the whole people and does not perceive this mental illness as a livestock, as a humor, and as a burden. We're proud of having this highly romanticization with all the definition. Sit down, Alif. Second issue, will highly romanticization for the mental illness. The same ideas, because they also give the false expectation that they can be cured, ladies and gentlemen. We say no, because it should not be regretted at all. Because the movies and other art shows that people with mental illness have hopes to be cured, and if not, there are happy lives are waiting for them at the end of the tunnel. Maybe this is not good for the mental ill people because they could not realize it, but it is good for the family, for the mother, for every single person who spends money and hopes for the children, at least can get back into society and society not look at them like they're a laughing stock, ladies and gentlemen. But second, even if that there's a gap of expectation between mental illness and also the reality, also should not be regretted. Because maybe by highly romanticizing the mental illness, the filmmakers, that the ones who decide to make this story becomes a movies or an art, believes that they can have a happy ending. Because the reality may be too hurtful for them. Because maybe the family who has autistic, who has Asperger's syndrome, are left untouched, cannot be cured at all. At least in these artworks, when they highly romanticizing it, they create an ideal world in their minds and can be transferred to society that somehow their people, their happy life is waiting for them at the end of the day. But thirdly, even if yes, that people expect that this mentally ill can be cured, and that's what we are looking for. power. The society and government keeps on fighting for these mental ill people. We should not leave them just eat their feces, for example, and left like a dog when there are no fighting for them are being cured in the very first place. Exactly that's what pushed society to create a popular demand for what society wants to give to people. But second of all, they're talking about burden. We believe burden maybe exists without high expectation, without high romanticization. Because burden maybe would exist when their family expect it to be, just talking with other person, just to talk and play with other person. So burden with or without this high romanticization might exist. But why when there is burden, it is better with high romanticization, ladies and gentlemen, because the method to lift the burden of mental people will be humane, ladies and gentlemen. That the way you cure these mental people is not by you just kicking them, but yell at them, but to give them love, affections, and the same emotions that everyone deserves, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly when, even if there's a burden to mental people, we can lift that burden with something that can be done by any people, regardless if you are a medical student or anyone, which is love and affection can be given to the mental people. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is not harmful at all. My extension. Why, ladies and gentlemen, we should not regret? Because it pushes the progress and improvement of accommodation for mental illness. Ladies and gentlemen, without the high romantizations, people could not see from the point of view of the mental ill people. The only way people can understand the reasons, the struggles, and other stuff that the family are having is by the very high romanticization of artwork. Because by this artwork, people can have the point of view of the people. They can have empathy and sympathy as if they are watching the movies and they live inside the family of It's a Beautiful Mind. As if they are living inside a family that is inside the music or the artwork itself. Why this is good? Because people can have the attachment that we should fight for these people. That's why the progress is very good. We accommodate people who have disabilities by making special roads, for example, because people can have the empathy. Because not all mentally people can speak for themselves. And these organizations of movies can become the mouth and the tools for these mental people to speak for the world society. We should not regret that. Without this romantic artwork, the art that only exists is that portraying these highly mentally people as a livestock, as something embarrassing, as something taboo and untouched. We do not want it. Love and affection is great to make sure you can raise an issue to society. We should not regret and go with opposition.